Let's make it happen. Did I get that right? Yeah, I got the labels right. Hell yeah. So we've got ShadowUltima and DiesOsse are Dynamic Execution versus Alpha Froggy and Happy Death on the right. This is Wild Goose Chase. Now this is game 2. ShadowUltima and DiesOsse have to win this game if they're going to stay in this tournament. So Happy Death and Alpha Froggy, they've been doing some weird stuff in this tournament so far, and it looks like they're going to continue with that theme. They're going to keep doing weird stuff. They're going to go Saucer Osprey, because why not? I mean, the crazy combos seem to have worked out for them so far. Happy Death and Alpha Froggy do already have a win in the semifinals match, so they have a little cushion. They can afford to lose a game if they want to. So Alpha Froggy already using that Death Ray. DiesOsse capturing this forward outpost. Low on health, but it doesn't matter because what's going to shoot him in all earnestness. So you've got Alpha Froggy going ahead, socketing moneymakers all over the place. So this is going to slowly but surely give them an advantage. ShadowUltima goes ahead, starts trying to do any harass that he can, while DiesOsse is going to be the one who's in charge of actually trying to pick off this post. He's going with Bucky's as a primary damage dealer with a couple of Longhorn to act as some cushion. ShadowUltima actually killing Alpha Froggy. This genuinely hurts me and my feelings. Happy Death trying to keep these Longhorn from dying, but ShadowUltima actually able to kill not only a player, but the probes, the infantry, and a couple of the tanks. So this is some excellent harass coming out from ShadowUltima. He's able to completely slow down and stall this advance. So Happy Death really on the back foot here. Alpha Froggy doing his signature move where he gets a boxer and a jammer. He's going to try and backdoor, but keep in mind, this is Salt. This is a really, really narrow map. Trying to do anything unscouted is virtually impossible in this. So Alpha Froggy probably going to die horribly right about now. Any second. I guess, actually, the jukes are real. The Froggy hops, and it cannot be tagged. Oh, there's 2 against 1 now. But he does end up getting taken down. So we got Happy Death is progressively moving forward. Alpha Froggy, while that sounds like a hopeless flopping around trying to survive, actually wasting a lot of ShadowUltima and DiesOsse's time, preventing them from doing anything useful with their lives, like doing something other than play Airmech. But in the meantime, we're going to be watching this tournament. So Happy Death moving forward with a couple of tanks. This Bucky Clump doing some decent damage output, clearing out all of those neutrals. So Happy Death mostly tanks. He is seriously outnumbered here. Part of that is because they've invested so much into moneymakers. Part of that is because his teammate Alpha Froggy is really not contributing to the cause. But that's why we call it the Carry Me tournament. ShadowUltima is dropping a handful of Ratters, trying to pick off all these moneymakers that he can, because he recognizes that this is eventually going to be a problem for him. Now, Alpha Froggy is trying to defend against the harass, but without any units to help him, he's probably going to lose all of these moneymakers. It's going to be a completely sunk cost. ShadowUltima is also just going to tag the fort for a little bit of damage. He might get out clean, or he might get brutally murdered in retribution. That's okay. I'm cool with that. Happy Death is still in the same spot. Now, he is an Osprey as well, so Osprey is not going to be suffering a lot of casualties, but these Buckies are out of the range of these tanks, but still able to put in some damage. So Happy Death putting out a couple of artillery is going to be able to do some consistent damage. There are no healing units, there is no healing mech, so this one artillery may not seem like much, it may not be conspicuous, but it will eventually kill all these Buckies. ShadowUltima is still pressing in with a harass. He's not going to be doing anything but harass so far, but expect these Buckies to all be dead. Most of them are already smoking, and Happy Death has taken a lot of damage, mostly just from ShadowUltima's air-to-air fire, but there is no air-to-ground. The Hog, DiesOsse, is not putting in the air-to-ground. Alpha Froggy, meanwhile, not only doing the abduct, but doing another Jammer Boxer push, taking advantage of this limited attention span of this other team here. Dynamic execution. DiesOsse working that air-to-ground, could get this, and barely tagged Alpha Froggy right over his own post, right within reach of safety. Happy Death has not moved. He's still leapfrogging these same units. He's still just putting work in. He's got the Tesla Tower. Tesla Towers are usually, in the past, able to shoot over outposts. Unfortunately, it appears that they have been balanced. And so this Tesla Tower is not actively firing at all right now. It needs a clean line of sight to the mech. So as soon as DiesOsse pokes his head around, he gets shocked by the Tesla Tower, stasis him, and then takes 2 stingers to the face. Happy Death going down, though. So now that everyone's dead, this mid-fight is going to start to stagnate a little bit. ShadowUltima thinking about moving forward, but there's still some neutral anti-air. There's still a lot of red anti-air. So, and a lot of healing units. So he's going to need to have a little bit more muscle, a couple more units. So Happy Death should be able to out-heal most of this. He should be able to make some magic happen, but he's going to need some help from Alpha Froggy, who is working that same drop pattern once again. So even if Happy Death loses this, ultimately Shadow and DiesOsse are going to have to pull back to secure their back post. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to do anything. Alpha Froggy actually abducted a Longhorn and a Ratchet, but he's so low on health, he needs to heal. He can tap Q, or he can blink back to his outpost, but he's going to die if he keeps this up. But he makes it back, and the outpost is red, so even though Happy Death was starting to lose the initiative on the top, Alpha Froggy pulling this team forward, carrying his weight and capturing what was undefended. So ignoring the mid-fight. Now, these Buckies are still getting shreked by the artillery. I mean, Buckies just aren't that good against artillery. They're good as artillery, but they're so fragile. The Ratchet goes down, the next couple of Buckies are going to go down, and Happy Death is going to keep capturing this. ShadowUltima, meanwhile, drops a couple of jumpers and tries to capture this close outpost. Happy Death is going to reposition. He wants to capture this outpost. He doesn't care if he loses mid, so long as he can take this back. But ShadowUltima is going to dump everything he's got right here, because if he loses this, he's probably going to lose the game. Alpha Froggy's nowhere to be seen, because you know what he's doing? He's going all in. He wants to take this to the fort. So he's heavily reinforced on the front, and now that ShadowUltima is distracted, now that DiesOsse is distracted, Alpha Froggy is going to abduct all of these tanks, all of these Buckies, and he's going to take middle, summon some creeps with his ultimate, and capture the top middle. So Happy Death, so long as he can keep this a stalemate, is probably going to win. Alpha Froggy's actually getting work done. Has not only captured the forward, but captured the mid too. Happy Death completely occupying the attention of 2 players. And so DiesOsse and ShadowUltima are trying to crank something out to deal with this. It's predominantly anti-air and artillery. They got a couple tanks on the side, but Happy Death really needs more at the fort. Alpha Froggy going to drop some heavy mines, but they're a little bit too close to the fort. These really aren't going to be useful. Would be nice to see them closer to the ramp, but Happy Death still with that heal, showing that it's really hard to kill the units of an Osprey. All they have to do is neutralize this post, because now there's no easy place to reinforce from. There's no units, there's no outpost to pull units out of, and now they're out of energy on the outpost. DiesOsse is going to get taken down by the Flackers and Happy Death's airfire. The same thing's going to happen to ShadowUltima if he's not careful. And these artillery continue to rain down fire. There's no healing units for the blue team, so over time, they will be able to whittle this down. We see butchers coming in from Happy Death. Meanwhile, Alpha Froggy is going to continue doing what he's been doing. Happy Death is going to keep managing the defense at home. Alpha Froggy says, you know what, I'm just going to take it all the way to the fort. This is going to turn into domination if ShadowUltima can't hold on to this outpost and start putting some pressure on the fort. Alpha Froggy, meanwhile, is going to go straight in. There's no blue defenses here. Blue has gone all in on that forward outpost, but is just getting so outmaneuvered by Happy Death that they are having a lot of trouble just staying in the game. So Blue's fort already taking a little bit of damage, and is potentially going to go down here. Red has a massive map control advantage. Alpha Froggy going to go ahead, start dropping jumpers, put in some damage on that fort, put a couple more jumpers down, and start socketing Tesla towers and more tanks and flackers just to hold on to that. And it's not like he's left his other outpost neglected. He's got socketed units all over them. So Happy Death just needs to hold on here, and is actually doing an excellent job of it. That income advantage, that upkeep advantage has been huge for him as Alpha Froggy continues to take those outposts and feed him those juicy, juicy credits. So Happy Death actually captures the outpost because ShadowUltima has no other source of infantry. And sure, he can snipe a couple of these artillery. Sure, he can snipe a couple of these stingers. These stingers literally only attack mechs. They attack nothing else in the game. So ShadowUltima gets muscled out. Alpha Froggy is pissed. So this is going to be a 2-0 sweep, with Wild Goose Chase taking over Dynamic Execution and wiping them out of this tournament. That's already half down on the fort. Domination is engaging now. 15 seconds on the countdown. So Alpha Froggy also just adding insult to injury. All these blue units that ShadowUltima was trying to ferry in for a drop, Alpha Froggy just abducts those and rolls right in. So this is looking pretty good for the red team at this point. They just got to finish this match off. They got a Goliath pounding the fort on the side. That's a ton of damage. These tanks are getting abducted, so another tank goes down to that abduct. Alpha Froggy could just death ray this down and do it himself, but is just going to dance and keep hopping around like the frog he is. GG, Happy Death and Alpha Froggy able to take down Dynamic Execution with ShadowUltima and DiesOsse. Was a powerful combination, but not quite powerful enough. So Happy Death's carry skills, pretty good. GG.